name is Charldera, and I'm here to answer some questions for you. You guys sent in some questions to my good friend and colleague Moyo regarding my experience with the LPP. So if you're interested in hearing more about my experience with the LPP and the Ontario lawyer licensing process, stay tuned. Like I said, my name is Charldera. I'm from the Bahamas, Nassau, Bahamas, and I did my undergrad in law, so I did the Bachelor of Laws, and I did my undergrad at the University of the West Indies, Barbados. The short answer is no, I've never practiced law in the Bahamas. I'm not yet being called to the bar. I did work at a law firm in the Bahamas for about 3 years. Prior to that, I did my Associates of Arts degree in Law and Criminal Justice, and after 3 years of working at a law firm, I decided to finally make the step to go to law school. So I applied to my law school at the University of the West Indies. At that time, they had a program in Nassau where I was able to do my first year, and after my first year of law school, I decided to transfer to Barbados because I wanted another experience. The first time I came to Canada was on exchange. The University of the West Indies has an exchange program, and I found out about it and I was pretty interested. I wanted to come to Canada, so I looked at all of the schools that they had the exchange program with. I got accepted to do the exchange at Queen's, and I also got a scholarship to the exchange from the Department of Foreign Affairs Canada. After coming to Queen's in Kingston and liking it a lot, I decided to go ahead and apply to do my master's at Queen's. I came to Queen's in 2016 after I was done with law school, and to do my master's degree at my LLM, and I really liked it. So that's kind of how the move to Canada started. And to be honest, the plan was always kind of to stay in Canada. So as soon as I got my completion letter, I applied for my postgraduate work permit, and that allowed me to stay in the country longer and decide my next step. And so after that, I decided to apply for my permanent residency, and I did so. And like I said, the plan was always to come to Canada and possibly stay if I liked it. And so naturally, after doing your law degree and a master's degree, the next step is to be called. So saying that I had already planned to stay in Canada, that the next step would be to be called to the Ontario bar. So that's what triggered me to apply to the Law Society for the licensing process. So at the moment, I've completed my barrister's exam. I've completed the LPP program, and I was scheduled to take the solicitor's exams in March of this year. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it was canceled, and we're still waiting on new dates to take the examination, and the possibility of it being administered online. So at the moment, I'm kind of still waiting for that last thing before I'm called to the bar. So in general, the licensing process, to be honest, is not easy. I believe almost every internationally trained lawyer or law student that come to Ontario and go through the process would tell you. It's not easy. It's not impossible, but it's not easy, because especially the NCAs, it can really throw you for a curveball, because here it is, you've done your law degree, you've done your master's. A lot of people have been called in other jurisdictions and then come here, and then they're like, you have to take 10 more exams before you can even enter the licensing process. So that can be quite daunting. So it's easier, I'm guessing, if you're already mentally prepared, like if you have that information beforehand. The other challenge is finding articling positions, but fortunately that's what the law practice program was created for, to kind of fill that gap, because believe the hype, there is a gap. There are very few articling positions out there, and a lot of them are unpaid when you do find them. Even students that graduate from Canadian law school, some of them have issues finding articling positions. So it is a challenge to this day. And on top of that, with the LPP, there was also a stigma surrounding it because it was something new, which is unfortunate because the law practice program is a really, really good program from my experience, and I will go into more detail with that later in this video. Finding articling positions is difficult, believe the hype, okay? I'm gonna be really honest, the law practice program was my backup plan. It was not my first choice, and it was not a lot of people's first choice, and it's mostly because at the time especially, there was still that stigma about the law practice program. The tradition is articling. That's what the long tradition has been, and a lot of people, they're against change or growth, whatever the reason is. Before entering the law practice program, I wasn't really sure, why people had this stigma. The only reason I could see is tradition. If the law practice program was inadequate, then I would understand, but it's totally different from just articling. Some people go on articling positions and just get coffee, for people, or just answer the phones. They explain to you what's going to happen in the law practice program before you get in, but you don't really see the true value of the program until you actually start the program and start the work. I believe we had about 100 assignments. We drafted so many different documents, did so much legal research, and in so many different areas of law. It just kind of prepares you to kind of be ready to catch anything coming your way, and it keeps you on your toes. I must say that the law practice program is not a walk in the park. So it's not gonna be, I'm just gonna chill and do some courses online, or it's not a walk in the park. The next question is, did I have to file anything with the Law Society upon completion? And the answer is no. The law practice program deals directly with the Law Society. Once you're done, the law practice program relays that information to the Law Society. The Law Society and the law practice program works hand in hand. Even though it's administered through the Ryerson University, the law practice program works directly with the Law Society. You have to apply to the Law Society first in order to even be able to access the law practice program. So that's how it works. And once you're done with the law practice program, the law practice program contacts the Law Society to let them know that you've successfully completed everything and you're good to go. I believe it's not entirely easy in general to get jobs once called. In general, it's very competitive, especially in Ontario. It all depends on, your experience. It depends on the individual, how well you perform, and whether or not the employer wants to hire you back. So I know some people that were still hired back through the law practice program from the placements that they did. The law practice program actually sets you up and trains you to open up your own firm, and that's what they encourage a lot: entrepreneurship and going out there, being innovative, using technology, all of the latest legal technology, and opening up your own firm. So that's a driving force behind the law practice program, to get candidates not to just depend on other people or firms or finding a job. They really want to help you, and they're training you to get out of the program, become called, and get into the market, starting your own firm. I know some people that actually, right after they passed and were called to the bar, they started their own firm, and they're still running their own firm right now. Everyone's experience is different as well, because we all have our own different goals. Some people don't really want to work for anyone else. So some people, they're happy about the fact that they're being trained to go ahead and start their own firm. So it's all about what you want and how hard you're willing to work to get it. Also, I try not to let other people's experience totally dictate what I'm going to do or what my experience will be like. I feel like you lose out on life that way. Be flexible, don't be too rigid and stuck on, I want to do it this way, or it has to be this. Like, sometimes you have to roll with the punches and be able to grow and transcend your environments and evolve as things progress. So that's why, even though I wanted to do articling, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to be delayed for another 2-3 years waiting for an articling position where I probably won't even get a lot out of it anyway. And despite the fact that there's some sort of stigma around the LPP, I'm not going to let that define my future or my career. It's all about who you are as an individual, and once someone gives you the opportunity to show them who you are and how well you work and the high quality of your work, and they see that, you know, who cares about whether you articled on the LPP? At the end of the day, they see a lot of value in you, because you can get a really good position. But if you put out very crappy work, or you don't have a lot of work ethic, and you don't have a lot of commitment, and you don't want to put in the time, or, you know, it's just not up to standard, then you will lose that opportunity. Sometimes it doesn't even matter which law school you went to. It's all about the individual, all about your personality, all about your mentality, all about the way you approach things and how people see you as well. And bottom line, all about the work you put out, the quality of work you put out, and how much hard work you put into it at the end of the day. So I just want to say that to encourage everyone out there. Even though, yeah, it's going to be daunting. You're going to think, oh, it's hard, but, you know, I'm almost through it. Lots of other people got through it as well, and if they can do it, then you can do it too. So that's all I have to say on that topic. There were a few other questions that I believe truly deserves a video on their own, especially regarding the NTA, my experience with the NTA, and going more in depth with the process and what I feel about it, and how I studied and how I passed. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I will definitely be looking out to read the comments, and I will probably chime in and answer any more questions that you have as well. And if you're interested in adding me on Instagram, go ahead. My Instagram handle is Dira87. See ya.